Thank you, Sarma. Thank you. Okay. Is there sound now? So it's welcoming everyone. Gonna bring out the cards for hexagram. I believe we are on hexagram number 21. Gonna do reading for that. And as you can tell, my voice is a little craggy. It's my first time speaking this morning, speaking to all of you guys out there in YouTube land and all of that goodness. And as I was saying before, welcome, Pavel. Welcome. Gonna give people a few moments to come in. You know, most people are probably in their L-tryptophan coma right about now. Let me put my glasses on. Got a nice big smudge. So how is everyone today who enjoyed family time yesterday? The holidays are always a very interesting, stressful, fun, not so fun time of the year for many people. Yes. Jai Shri Ganesh. For me, to be quite honest, other than an opportunity for maybe if my elder sons come home from college or grad school, Thanksgiving, any of the other holidays, they're just another day to me. I try not to get caught up in all of the hoopla. Welcome, Matthias. Welcome. So I am looking for hexagram number 21. So we can, it's very slow moving for me this morning. As usual, that's not unusual. Just getting the 21 out there. Let me know if the background music I have, if it's too loud or if the sound is just right. I know this is annoying that I waited until right now. It's so much easier when you have I was about to say a 2 live crew. I don't know where that came from. When you have a production crew, of course I don't really need a production crew. There it is. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Okay. Wasn't able to find my regular drugstore reading glasses, and I found my prescription reading glasses, which I try not to wear my prescription reading glasses anymore because one thing I notice is that they make my eyesight worse, which is really weird. Really weird. Okay, let's get that in a good position. And so I hope everyone likes my new setup here that I have. Let me change this. So I am now streaming through Streamlabs OBS. And took me a minute or two to get it set up, but I think I finally have it. So we're going to do, I found our card. Got to figure out how to get this up a little bit higher. And we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, Sterling. Welcome. Did you? I know that you're all the way over there in Japan. I don't know what country you're originally from. Australia, I think? Or is it, I don't know if it's the United States. I don't know why I'm thinking Australia. I have no idea. Anyway, okay, so where do we go? Right over here on my bookshelf. All right, let's take a moment. I have my tea. California. Okay, okay. So back to my original question, Sterling. So you're all the way over there in Australia. I mean, Japan. Did you enjoy a Thanksgiving dinner yesterday? So this is what I'm having today. This is my masala chai, and today you can't really see it on the camera, but it definitely in person has a very yellow tinge to it, because when I was putting my spices in this morning, I decided to load up on the turmeric. So in this is black Assam black tea, which is supposed to be like the champagne of black teas from India. And it has clove in it, cardamom. What else does it have in it? Cardamom, clove, cinnamon, vanilla, and maybe something else, but I can't remember. Oh, and powdered goat's milk and raw sugar. And that's how, I mean, I don't have all of the other spices. I did have a spice mixture that I roasted myself and mixed up, but I don't know if I tossed it or what. You went out for lots of chicken. Everybody loves chicken. So having that on my nice antique china. Okay. So we got everything together. Let's take a nice deep centering breath to welcome us into this sacred space. So I welcome all of you here in the United States. This is the famous Black Friday when number one, it is okay to be black on this day because you want your finances in a good place. Number two, when people go crazy and almost slaughter each other for very good deals, supposedly good deals. So you can either be out there in a mad rush. Some people were probably out there since midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, lining up in front of store doors in order to get 75 or 80% off of that 90-inch screen television. Yeah, but I prefer to just stay at home and chill. And last night I slept very well. I've been using a mixture of California poppy stems, I think it is, not the seeds, and what else do I have in there? Blue vervain infusion, and sleeping like a baby straight through the night, which has been unusual for me since I've had children. So I open up the Tao Te Ching, and here, let me put it right here in front. Sterling says, yeah, everybody should love chicken, but some Japanese people don't. And some don't even like rice. That's shocking to me. Never, that's where like stereotypes come in. You think, oh, someone's Asian, they must love rice. I guess not. I wonder if there's any Italians who do not like pasta. And yeah, who doesn't like rice and chicken? Or rice and chicken, arroz con pollo together. Okay, so we're going to read from the Tao. And I am waiting for a new camera, one of those flexible arm camera stands, so I can put the secondary camera to my right so I can try to read. So I just propped this up. I think it's doing pretty good. This isn't too bad. Okay, so we're going to read from chapter 12 of the Tao. And those of you who can read traditional Chinese, there you go. All right. Okay, you got that? Okay, so let's go over to the English, which I can barely read. So chapter 12. The 5 colors blind the eye. The 5 tones deafen the ear. The 5 flavors cloy the palate. Racing and hunting madden the mind. Rare goods tempt men to do wrong. Therefore, the sage takes care of the belly, not the eye. He prefers that is within to that with to what is without. He prefers that he prefers what is within to what is without. I like that one. Can we all see how this can factor in to the United States today? We have Black Friday and people are going crazy, and these wonderful sales are blinding people, and the loud music in the stores is deafening them, and all of the discounts and discounts. We are heading into that great season of mass consumerism. And then we have, in order to, help us to feel a little less guilty from all of the massive shopping and getting awesome deals and camping out in parking lots, then everyone wants to go and, work at a soup kitchen. And I always thought it was fascinating why at Thanksgiving and holidays, that's when people are concerned about working at soup kitchens. But what about the rest of the year? There are people who need to eat other times of the year, not just at Christmas or Thanksgiving. So let's here we go, 12. Okay, so Ursula Le Guin, I'm really digging her chapter, her title. Her title is Not Wanting. So let's go there. Okay, and Samad says, and possibly what is meant by the belly is the Dantian, the seat of energy. Right, yeah, we got to go back and I want to look at that translation once more because I know it mentioned the belly. Not wanting. The 5 colors blind our eyes. The 5 notes deafen our ears. The 5 flavors dull our taste. Racing, chasing, hunting drives people crazy. Trying to get rich ties people in knots. So the wise soul watches with the inner and not the outward eye, letting that go and keeping this. So there you go. Let me look at this one a bit. And Sterling says, I personally think it's all pagan and commercialism, even celebrity soup kitchens. I've never heard of celebrity soup kitchens, and it's a special place that ain't special, but it does good. Anything that is outside of standard, institutionalized, acceptable religion, I guess is considered pagan. Pagan, from what I understand, is more of the spirituality of the masses, the outliers, people who refuse to kowtow to whatever the institute has established, what's supposed to be sanctioned worship. Pagan, people from the country. Uncouth, uncivilized spirituality. The commercialism, the paganism, I'm fine with. Everyone should find their own spiritual path. But this awful commercialism. So Samad had mentioned about the Dantian. And so we're going to look back at this. Right. Yes, I personally like paganism as well. So we're going to go back to this John Woo, which, remember what Woo means? Shaman or witch. Woo, John C. Woo. I'm not saying that he is, but I just find it's an interesting last name. So we're going to look back at this chapter 12, his interpretation, translation. So we have the 5 colors blind the eye. The 5 tones deafen the ear. The 5 flavors cloy the palate. Racing and hunting madden the mind. Rare goods tempt men to do wrong. I mean, that's so encapsulates today. Remember how we heard about, I think it was a few years ago, there was like a mad rush. It was either at Target or Walmart, one of those places that as soon as the door was open, people just poof, bombarded right on through, crushing people. I think one of the employees ended up getting trampled to death, unfortunately. You know, rare goods tempt men to do wrong. And even though those goods are not rare, the psychological manipulation, they raise the prices and then slash them deep after they've already raised them 2 or 3 times more than what they should be, and then slashing them deep. So then people are entrained to believe that, oh, these are rare prices, we need to hurry up and get them, and causes people to do unthinkable acts like trampling people to death or punching someone over because they took the last 95-inch television that the other person wanted. And we look at the second to the last sentence, therefore the sage takes care of the belly, not the eye. And Sarmad had referenced the Dantian, which, if you remember before, when we were reading through, and we're going to get back to that, I figure I'll wait until I get the new camera stand. We were reading through Seeking the Spirit of the Book of Change. And remember, the Dantian is like our center of gravity. It's the place where in Qigong and in various Asian martial arts, where we bring in the heaven and earth energy to meet within ourselves. And you take your finger, your 2 fingers, and go right at the bottom of your navel, and then that's where your Dantian is, and cultivating energy is what I'm trying to say. You cultivate energy, bring that energy in. It helps to fortify you spiritually speaking as well as physically speaking. And so we are learning that the sage cultivates the Dantian and not is so concerned about feeding the eye. So thank you very much, Samad. I keep looking over at the chat instead of looking at the camera. Thank you very much, Samad, for bringing that teaching to life for us to remember that it is important that we cultivate our Dantian, cultivate our own personal energy to build us up. You know, there's going to be, and especially this time of the year, I know my voice is a little bit crackly. Let me take a little sip. Especially at this time of the year where the world around us, and I don't know if it's any different in Asian countries because I haven't been to any Asian countries around this time of the year, but I was in Australia. I was in Australia in December 14 years ago, which was really weird seeing Christmas decorations in the winter, in the summertime. I mean, I guess it's not that much different from having Christmas in Florida, but you know, it's this time of the year where it's all about the holidays and families getting together. And sometimes for some people, either those who do not have a big extended family or small family, there might be a time of loneliness and sadness of either what, you know, they feel that they do not have or what is lost. And then for others, it's a stressful and anxiety ridden time of the year because of families coming together. And, you know, a lot of our families, I mean, I hate to use the term dysfunction because it seems more like the norm, you know, families getting together and maybe not necessarily respecting each other's boundaries or respecting each other's as individuals, individual entities, and just emotionally regurgitating over each other. And that can be stressful and, you know, make people not want to get together with their families. So it's a time of the year where we really must take time to cultivate ourselves and enhance ourselves and fortify ourselves. I know for myself personally, it's important for me as well. For instance, yesterday, my eldest son came home to spend the weekend. Uh, my other two sons decided, for whatever reason, that they needed to stay in their own uh, respective places, and I respect that, you know. But the mother and me wants my brood to gather around me, and especially as we begin to age and we really start to recognize the sanctity of life, the fragility of life, and the fleeting uh, the fleeting motion of time. And of course, when you're on the other end of the spectrum, when you're in your late teens and your early 20s, you always think that we got plenty of time. There's enough time to go around and I can put this off to later. And you just have to respect where people are. So what we're going to do today, we're going to look at card number 21. And of course, I thought I had my small book. Here, but I don't. So I will be using the larger book of Benabel Wynn as we go through number 21. Just trying to get that here. Eventually, I'll figure out how to share a screen in OBS. Haven't quite figured that one out yet. So here we are. We are on hexagram number 21. Number 21. And it's titled Biting Through. Welcome, Mari. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening. And it is, what time of day is it right now? It is 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time in Pennsylvania, USA. And Mari has evening time. It's always cocktail hour somewhere. All right, so we're back to 21, biting through. And so the key words are take decisive action, restore order, force applied with sensitivity, justice, tenacious devotion to a task. And as you can see in this card, it looks like a dragon, a fiery dragon, sort of like fighting to get a grasp. And it looks to me like water down beneath, or maybe the dragon is flying in the clouds. So let's see what we have here. And I have Benabel Wynn's. This is the big book. I don't usually use this one, but since I'm not sure where the little book is, we're going to use this one today. And we're going to check out what hexagrams make up. Oh, there we go. Number 21. Okay, right here. Let's see if I can get that in the screen. All right, without knocking the camera over. So we have hexagram number 21, Shi Ho. Okay, and it's made up of fire, of the third hexagram, of the third bagua, fire, and the fourth bagua, thunder. So hexagram number 21 is Li and Jin, fire and thunder. Okay, so we're going to start with the bottom. Thank you, Mari. Mari says she likes the new camera views. I am trying to up my game and get fancy. And I had help with my artist friend, Laura Iverson, which she's been in the live chat before. Met Laura, I think it was like 18 years ago, maybe like 2000. Wow, that is 18 years ago. 2000, 2001. We were one of the first and few self-representing artists who sold our art on eBay. And she was part of the artist group. She's an amazing artist. Her website is Zen Breeze. Check out her work. It is absolutely fabulous. And also, our very own David Lux here in the chat room recommended this particular Streamlabs software and kind of helped me get it all set up. And So yeah, so thank you. So I do kind of have a little production crew. All right. So we're going to start at the bottom bagua, which is thunder. Thunder. And oh, and as you can see in B.MSc's I Ching book, she also gives you hints and help on using the bagua for spell crafting. Okay. So the thunder is composed of one yang line, a masculine line underneath, and then two feminine lines up above. So the first line, yang, one, is yang, masculine. The second is yin, and the third is yin. To shake or arouse, inciting movement, taking the initiative, excitation, revolution, division. The direction is east. The life aspect is family, ancestry, the relationship, first offspring, son, or creative yang. It's pretty cool because my first offspring is home right now, the first and the last. The body part is foot, and the animal is dragon. And then we go up to the top, bagua, fire, Li, represented by two yang lines with the yin line, a feminine line, in the middle. I always find that really fascinating. That fire is separate, of course, has a lot of masculine energy. It's begun with masculine energy and ended with the masculine energy. But right in the center of the fire, right in the center, there's that mysterious yin energy that's quiet and calm and just waiting. So we have radiance and eminence, innovation and cultivation. The cultivation, I think of that as the yin energy, sort of like the womb cultivates and gestates the new life that's coming. Giving light, illumination, clarity, rapid movement, the sun, clinging and dependent. The direction is south. The life aspect is ambition, honor, fame, reputation. The relationship, second offspring, daughter or nurturing yin. The body part, eyes, and the animal, phoenix or pheasant. I like the phoenix one because you think of a dragon, and I always think of a dragon and a phoenix sort of related to each other. That's beautiful. Okay, so let's see what B.MSc has to say about hexagram 21. So we're going to, this one is slightly different from her. I don't have it. I have two copies. I know where both copies are in the bedroom. There you go. Sometimes I like to read and study at night before I sleep. Both copies are in the bedroom. Well, I'm going to just go ahead and read the oracle as she has it. And just remembering that her short order book has it a little bit different. But we're going to go ahead and just read what the oracle has. So hexagram number 21. And B.MSc translates it as biting through or cracking. Cracking seeds with the front teeth, having the clarity to incite movement, fire over thunder. There is an obstruction between the upper lip and the lower, forcing your mouth open, a vulnerable position. You must bite down and tear through the obstruction to close your mouth again. Right now, you are worrying over minor obstacles. Bite through those obstacles the way you would crack a seed with your two front teeth. Splice it open, remove the obstacle from your path. Kind of reminded me as I was reading that, I was thinking of sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds. that you completely crack it in your mouth without using your hands, and then you spit out the seeds. Okay, let's see if we can get that in there. The circumstances are favorable for you right now, and it is to your advantage to inflict punishment where punishment is due. Thunder and lightning biting through with your teeth. The ancient kings, in their wisdom, issued imperial orders according to the divine laws and punished those who violated their order. Likewise, if you adhere your orders to the divine laws, then in the event others infract or resist your orders, you must take decisive and swift action against them. Bite down, remove obstacles with force. The way I would interpret that is, you know what you have to do. You need to get it done. If there are people standing in your way, preventing you from what you need to get, what you need to do, you need to let those people go. Get them moved out of your path and get about your business. That's just my quick, no nonsense interpretation of that one. And of course, we would be remiss to not share Professor Hong's translation, literal translation. Welcome, CB. So biting, sign of the sacrifice, favorable to invoke the law. And we're, of course, we start from the lower hexagram and then work our way up. There we go. We start from the lower hexagram and then we're going to work our way up to the top. So the bottom line, the bottom yang line, and just so CB can have an image that we're looking at the dragon biting through, or even the phoenix rising from the ashes. Dragging leg irons, toes invisible. Let's see if we can get that in there. There we go. Toes invisible, no harm comes. Biting into meat, nose invisible, no harm comes. Biting into preserved meat, finding poison, a small inconvenience, no harm done. Biting into dried ribs, finding a golden arrowhead, good omen in hardship, all's well. Biting into dried meat, finding gold, danger, no harm done. Wearing neck iron, ears invisible, disaster. And in the asterisks where we had biting into dried meat, finding gold, danger, no harm done. To the ancient Chinese, it was believed that swallowing gold can cause death. Very interesting. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, those are strange. Those are strange. That is why you can't see it, but right up above here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe copies of the I Ching. One of them is literally that thick. That's about 3 inches thick. Okay, and then the others are somewhere in there. Lots of commentary, because if we only had Professor Hong's, which I think he did a wonderful service to the Western world by giving us a literal translation, because as Benabel Wynn suggests that we do, as we're studying and becoming familiar with the energies of the I Ching and really bringing it within the center of our being, like the way the Wu, remember how we discussed the ancient Wu? Oh, let me take a little sip of mine. It is absolutely cold right now. But anyway, as we mentioned, how the ancient Wu, they took the elements, placed them on their body, found their center, and for them, that was the center of the universe. And then from there, they were able to not only understand themselves in their own body, they were able to understand the energies of the universe. So by taking a very literal translation, and then we have other translations, and within our own contemplation and meditation, what Benabel Wynn suggests that we do is that we eventually create our own interpretation of the 64 hexagrams. You know, we interpret our own, we create our own interpretation, which is our own relationship, our own unique relationship with the, I say, the Tao. Okay, so that's why it's good to have the literal Chinese interpretate it, and then that way it's sort of like we're starting from scratch, and in our imaginations, using our own intuit and creating our own space with that. And so here we go. We're going to, of course, end with Brian Brown Walker. And both Brian Brown Walker and Professor Hong were recommended by Benabel. And these are good opposite of the spectrum. You have literal here. You have literal, absolute literal, direct verbatim translation as much as possible. And then you have a beautiful, almost poetic interpretation. So we're going to look at 21. And I'm just going to leave the image here while I read to you so you can kind of focus on that image. Shiho, biting through. There is an obstacle to the expression of truth. Withdrawal into quietness allows the sage to moderate. Unity has been broken by one who is not being true to proper principles. This may be another or an element in one's own personality or both. In any case, serious misfortune may result if the appropriate response is not made. The I Ching is very clear about what our proper action is when confronted with an obstacle of this nature: withdrawal into contemplation and a turning over of the matter to the higher power for resolution. This is a time when aggressive action or intervention can only compound the misfortune. Use your strength to clearly separate yourself from incorrectness and realign yourself with the sage. It is always our responsibility to acknowledge where something has gone wrong, but never our right to punish. The administration of justice is the sole province of deity. The I Ching teaches us to forgive but not forget. This does not mean one who reveals himself as inferior today should be regarded as such tomorrow. It means that we are wise to pay conscientious attention to the waxing and waning of truth in ourself and others. When truth predominates, we can progress. When it is eclipsed, we are obligated to withdraw and surrender the matter to the sage. So there you go. There you go. So, of course, in the one translation we were reading, it talked about punish. And the way I see that word punish mean is to do what you need to do, that you know what you need to do in this situation to either extract yourself or to remove the obstacle. Stop beating around the bush. Do it and keep moving forward. It doesn't mean go get the the switch if you're from the South, or the belt or the whip and start beating someone. That's not what it's meant. At least that's not how I translate punishment. So anyone have any questions, go ahead and ask. I want to sort of spruce up my tea. This is a little teapot. I have some friends. I used to be heavily, I'm not so much involved right now. Maybe Sterling, you might have heard of this organization called Shumei. It's a Japanese spiritual organization. And we have a local branch here in our very deep rural Pennsylvania. And Shumei is an organization. The three pillars are natural agriculture, Jōrei energy healing, and art beautification, all to bring heaven on earth. And one of the Shumei farmers, who is originally from Japan, he and his family had moved out to California, and they had given me their teapot, which I was so happy because I had actually had a teapot very similar to this, and one of my fits of purging, I got rid of it and then deeply regretted it, and then eventually they gave me that one, so that was great. So there we go, biting through. Rise up and do what you need to do to get your life back on track. And thank you, Critical Break, for your observation. Yes, I feel like that I am getting that space back. You know, when you go through a difficult time in life emotionally, you know, there's some people's like, oh, just get over it, move forward. But you are welcome, Matthias. I am one who believes that it is important to acknowledge your emotions, to feel them, not to suppress your emotions. And I mean, yeah, there are times when, you know, you gotta sort of fake it till you make it. But I don't believe that that's true when it comes to emotions, because when you have something acutely going on, it's good to face those emotions and process them and work through them. Yes, you're absolutely right, CB. You have to process them, because otherwise you suppress them, and anytime you suppress something, it's going to pop up somewhere else like a big ugly boil or a zit. When you least expect it, it's going to pop up, and it ain't going to be pretty. So, you know, I had some time where I needed, you know, had some emotions I was working through and needed to process them. And yes, I feel like I've gotten in touch with my inner phoenix. All right. Okay, so we are one step behind. Wait a minute. Did I do number 19? Okay, no. We're going to go ahead and do, oh, wow. You know what? I'm going to just open to this one where I originally opened to, even though we skipped 19. We'll do 19 tomorrow. This is beautiful. Let's look at reflection. And I think the reflection goes hand in hand with the reading of the Tao from chapter, was it 29 that we read before, which was quite apropos for this Black Friday, the day when it's considered good to be in the black. So we have right here, Kuan Yin. There we go. Keyword reflection. This is Water Moon, Kuan Yin. Three of my favorite things all together. Welcome, Celie Jane. Welcome. So, Water Moon, Kuan Yin. Keyword reflection. With a full moon. Oh, that's perfect. Do we see how that came together? I didn't even realize that's what it was going to say. With the full moon, because we are on the full moon. The full moon was 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which was, what was that, 7, 8 hours ago? So here we go. Things happen for a reason. Okay, reflection during this cool full moon period. And also, the full moon is a wonderful time of really stepping into your power. It's a wonderful time of letting go of that. I was about to say the bad word, but I won't. Letting go of that crap that is not serving you, getting those obstacles out of your path. Almost want to put in a hallelujah there. And full moon, letting go, releasing. With the full moon, reflecting on the water, Kuan Yin stands on a lotus flower. So there you go. Kuan Yin stands on a lotus flower atop a pedestal of rock. In her left hand, she holds a lotus flower, while from the vase in her right hand, she pours the crystal clear nectar of compassion. According to Chinese saying, the one moon reflects in 1,000 rivers, and all 1,000 rivers reflect the one moon. One spring nourishes countless flowers, and myriad flowers breathe the miracle of the one spring. Oh, that's beautiful. Ultimately, there is no difference between Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and humans. Man, too, owns the Buddha nature, and that's just man in its generic form, totality, woman and man. Woman, too, owns the Buddha nature, although she is not yet conscious of the nature of reality. Only through enlightenment will she become a Buddha. According to Chinese cosmology, she will first enter the trinity of heaven, human, earth, and then the one, the Tao. In the Tao, there is no more separation. Man himself, woman herself, may become Kuan Yin. She sends down the sweet dew, the Dharma rain, to quench the flames of earthly desires. Again, there we go. We're right on back into that Black Friday. Oh, and yeah, right here, I don't know if Samad is still with us, but right here, we have that, according to the Chinese cosmology, he will first enter the trinity of the heaven, human, and earth. And again, that is all about, as the sage said in, as was John Wu translated in his translation of the Tao Te Ching, how the sage, doesn't concern himself with the myriad of scintillating things that bombard the senses, blinds the eyes, clamors in the ears, and tempts our eyes. The sage focuses on the belly. And Sarmad had reminded us of the Dantian. The sage focuses on cultivating her energy in the Dantian, the center. And then right here we have, he will first enter the trinity of heaven, human, and earth. And that trinity of heaven, heaven, earth, and human enters right there in the Dantian, bringing that heaven energy, bringing that earth energy in, and increasing one's own personal energy. And when cultivating that trinity, you recognize the oneness of the Tao, and then you enter into the Tao because you realize there is no separation. That duality is a oneness. That duality is not black or white or heads or tails. That duality is just a coin. The head of the coin, the tail of the coin is just a coin. It is all just the Tao. It is just the way. There is no good or bad. That's when we begin to focus on traversing the tree of life rather than just eating from the tree of knowledge. Contemplation. Connect with the water moon Kuan Yin if you want to further examine what the world is reflecting to you. Find out where you can touch its essence directly instead of falling for its mirror image. Water Moon Kuan Yin can support you in gaining deeper insight into the principle of cause and effect. So there you go. Let's look at the beautiful Kuan Yin. But remember, Kuan Yin isn't this abstract, separate entity, separate from us. It is the Bodhisattva that is waiting within each and every one of us. Well, you can't see him here, but the the medicine Buddha is not separate from us. The medicine Buddha is within each and every one of us, our true nature, waiting for us to, step into the unity, the oneness of heaven and earth, to step into the Tao rather than focusing on the so-called duality. It is a oneness. It's a duality that is one, not this or that. So there you go. So let me check out the chat room. Let's see. Let me see. What's the temperature? Because it is chilly. It is chilly. Okay. Let's see what the temperature is. OMG. It is. Look at this. Can you see that? This is what I'm working with today, guys. So please send me some nice, hot, warm energy. So let me see the chat room. We got Celia. I'm going to give everyone a shout out. We have Mari. We have Sarmad. We have Matthias. We have Pavel. We have Sterling. And Mari. Okay, I said Mari. Critical Break. And Sealy Jane. Awesome. All right, let's see. Where were we? Okay. Oh, I would love to see those pictures, Critical Break. Critical Break took pictures of the moon. I didn't even see the moon last night. I think I walked home last night. It was so cold. I was just like, let me get in the house. Celie Jane said the moon seemed larger than usual. It sure was bright. Thank you. I can visualize that. The skies have been so beautiful lately, Celie Jane said. Let's see. I think the synchronicity is a very important part of knowing I'm not crazy. You can't deny all the synchronicity. That is very true, Silly Jane. Sarmad says it's not black or white. It's black and white. Yeah, there you go. Black and white. It's all together. It's not an or universe. It's an and universe. Yeah. Yeah, we always second guess ourselves and doubt. We got to work on that. I work on that too. I do the same thing, silly. Silly Jane says, not that I'm denying it, but I do sometimes question my sanity. And so a quick, am I hallucinating check? Been there, done that. And you know what, Silly Jane? Remember we were just talking about reflection. That is part of that reflecting. And it is good to reflect. It is good to to check in with ourselves. Because if we didn't, we could just, our ego and our grandiosity could run away with us. Let's see. All right. Okay. So I would like to thank everyone for being here. I know some of us had to skedaddle sooner rather than later. And again, I am waiting in the mail for a new camera stand to come in. However, I think this is pretty good, right? Did I do a good job with this one? I think that's pretty good. Not too bad. It's sort of like when I had this set up before when I wasn't able to be on the camera at the same time. So this is good. So let's see. I think Monday we will get back to seeking the spirit of the Book of Change. And I also really want to start a new series on getting back into the tarot. And so I hope to start that. I don't know if I'm going to do that this weekend or like maybe just have that like a Saturday morning thing or sometime during the week. I want to explore the Rider-Waite deck along with the Thoth deck and bring those two together and maybe eventually bring in the Spirit Keeper deck by Benabel Wynn because those two decks. Oh, it's been so long since I haven't been on the L train since, oh my gosh, I can't even remember. The last time I was on the L train, wow, could have been 37 years ago. Well, actually, that's kind of a lie. The last time I was on an L train was when I was in DC and they had the Museum of Transportation. And I walked into this thing and I was like, this seems really familiar. Is this a bus? And I'm sitting there and I realized, no, this is an L train. Flashback from my childhood. Okay. All right. So, yeah, so I want to get into the tarot. I also have in the works when I start doing a show with Reverend Tracy, who has been here before. I think she and I are going to get together to have like a twice a month. I want to have a pretty image showing here for you and not just that silk thing. Yeah, so a lot of good things moving forward, and I am still working on the microphone and I haven't forgotten. And all of those who have made donations so far, thank you very much. Oh, let's see, I just sent you the Phoenix Rising and the Aurora. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show it because maybe I might have to do that next time. I'm still trying to figure out how to use. Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to use the various functions on the Streamlabs software. I figured out how to get the video in. I was trying to figure out how to put a browser in so I can scroll through the browser. It's not happening. Have to figure that out. Okay, so I'm going to get going. This is Tamu and Gina, Priestess Heart. Thank you, beloveds, for being here today, for sharing your energy with all of us. Let's take a moment to remember our ancestors and remember all those who have come before us. Please remember to thumbs up this video, to click subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of upcoming shows as well as interviews that I will have. And what else? Please share, thumbs up to help the algorithms. And I wish you peace, the most complete and sweetest peace, and great bliss. And thank all of you. Thank you. Much gratitude, blessings, love, and joy. Until next time, keep going.